Hey y'all, welcome to Pleiadian Point of View. I'm Peyton with Peyton Energetics, and I'm a Pleiadian channel and starseed coach. So in today's video, the Pleiadians wanted to talk to us about judgment. And as you can imagine, this is a big topic. So they wanted to talk to us a little bit about why judgment is such an important energy for us to be releasing. So judgment is one of those huge planetary energies that the P's sometimes refer to as planetary templates. So where does this huge blanket of judgment on our planet come from? Well, according to the P's, judgment is one of our survival emotions. So it is one of those emotions that enabled us to survive as a human species. So this is what they sometimes refer to as a primitive emotion. And primitive emotions we may often store in our tailbone. So this is something that is an energy that is very deeply rooted in our collective. And you can probably think of several things that you catch yourself judging. As a spiritual community, we certainly fall prey to this, where we love to judge those who aren't awake. We love to judge 3D. And most of us have had quite a lot of experience judging ourselves, rejecting parts of ourselves, judging our bodies, judging our health. So judgment is something that most of us have a lot of practice with. So the P's wanted to help us let this go, or at least start to let it go. So according to the Pleiadians, anytime we're feeling negative emotion, we are in judgment. We are rejecting something. We are making something invalid. And again, this is just part of our survival programming. And our survival programming is all of those emotions, memories that are so deeply hardwired into us as humans. So anytime we are judging something, anytime we find ourselves in judgment, we are trying to separate ourselves from that thing. So whenever we see those news stories and want to scream no at the top of our lungs, we are finding ourselves in judgment. So whenever we are judging something, this is what the ego mind does to separate us from something. And we do this as a form of protection. That is how judgment originated. It was a way that the ego mind came up with to make itself feel safe, to separate itself from anything that the mind thought was dangerous or could get us in trouble or get us kicked out of the clan. So judgment originated for the purpose of survival instincts, keeping us alive as a species. But it's an energy that we don't need anymore. So whenever we judge things now, we are keeping ourselves in separation. And whenever we are separating ourselves from something, we are rejecting a part of ourselves. Because as the P's like to tell us all the time, everything is you. Anything in your reality is you. So when we are coming up with those stories that make us angry or put us in fear, or those people that we really just don't like, we are trying to keep ourselves separate from a part of ourselves, from our creation. And the result of that, whenever we judge something, is we maintain its form. So we get this a little backwards in the spiritual community, that we think that if we are disagreeing with something and shouting no about it and telling everyone how terrible it is, that we are keeping ourselves away from it. But the opposite is actually happening. When we are holding something in judgment, and we do that anytime we have a negative emotion about something, we are separating ourselves from that thing or that person. And when we do that, according to the Pleiadians, we are maintaining the form of that manifestation. So if you are watching that story on the news and getting angry about it, you are feeding it. You are maintaining the form of that manifestation in your reality. And interestingly, most of us think we're doing the opposite, right? We think we are keeping ourselves safe from it. The more we yell and protest, the more we are removing that from our experience. The P's say, not so fast. You are actually gluing it to yourself. So one of the reasons we want to be working on releasing this mind tendency to judge everything is because as we judge, we keep that thing in our experience. So what do we do instead? If we can't say no and we can't get angry at things without keeping it in our experience, how do we release these things that are just not our preference? Well, according to the P's, the way we do that is we have to go in the opposite direction. So what is the opposite of separation from something? Well, it's merging with it. So what the P's encourage us to do is to take whatever you are judging, whether it's something you're seeing in the world around you or someone you're just not a huge fan of, or something about yourself that you have always fought. And most of us have a pretty long list of those things, and bring it into your heart. Super simple. That's really all you have to do, because as you bring that thing that you were trying so hard to keep separate from yourself, as you bring that into your heart, you acknowledge it as part of you, as part of your creation. And as you do that, you drop the separation. And as you drop the separation from it, you drop the resistance. And the resistance is all that was keeping it in your reality. So bringing it into your heart and loving it, even if you don't want more of it, even if you don't personally prefer it, it is still a valid choice. So bringing it into your heart and loving and accepting it brings you into neutrality. And as you come into neutrality for something, if it is something that is not aligned with your preference, with your truth, with your higher self, by bringing it into your heart, you will release it from your experience. So those are just a few quick pointers from our Pleiadian friends on how to start releasing judgment from some of those things that give us a little bit of heartburn. And all we have to do is realize it is part of us and come into neutrality with it. And then it doesn't need to be in our experience anymore because we're not fighting it. So that is what the P's wanted to share with us in this week's point of view, to just give us a little guidance on getting out of that judgment that we all do so much. So let me know in the comments below, how are y'all doing in these energies? They've been pretty intense lately. Drop that in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. I'll see you soon. Bye.